Hi, I'm Dr. Perry Camisa. Welcome back to our video series. Today's video is on the history and the origin of how I got started with PowerPlate. So stay tuned, click the button, and stay tuned for a great story. Hi, I'm Dr. Perry Camisa again, and today the topic is PowerPlate, how we got involved with PowerPlate. We get asked this question all the time, and as you see behind me, we have many PowerPlates now in whole body vibration. And so I'm going to tell my story of how this came to be. And all the things that we do in our clinic right now are organically based. What I mean by that, it's always been we need to find a solution. What's the solution? Let's implement it so we can help more people. Well, this solution, the PowerPlate solution, wasn't about more people. It was about me. So let me roll back the clock on this one. This is probably going to go back to 2002 when I blew a disc in my lumbar spine, and I was actually picking up a snowblower to plow the parkway where we live when it was a heavy snowstorm. And I felt a pop in my lower back, and I knew that wasn't a good sign. When I got in the house, I knew it really wasn't a good sign because I basically hit my knees and was on my hands and knees for several days. And at that point in time, chiropractic wasn't really working for me. I was totally opposed to seeing a surgeon. And so I had to look up, what am I going to do to help me? And the trainer I was working with at the time, I know Donna's going to remember this, but I used to train with her on a one-on-one basis, and we used to have to do sandbag traction on my hips just so I could get some mobility and walk for a day. And it was just a struggle. So at the time I was really searching for some answers. And so it wasn't until 2004 when I was doing some research for some of our traction that we were doing, and came across PowerPlates, whole body vibration, some different other types of equipment out there, and called some of my colleagues in the industry. And no one had really knew too much about it. And so I was really left on my own to do my own research. And so it basically came down to pulling the trigger on a product that I've never stepped foot on, never sampled before. And I remember that was January of 2004 that I purchased my first PowerPlate, one of the many that we have behind here. And I pawned it off of my wife as an anniversary gift. Well, that didn't go over very well. Not very well at all. But nonetheless, I pursued forward. So I got the machine installed at the house, and it came with a poster, and the poster had all these exercises. And so I looked at the poster, and I'm telling you, I felt like I was 90 years old. There wasn't a lot I could do in that poster. And just to give you an idea of functionality, golf is one of my passions, and I used to hit golf balls and maybe hit 6 golf balls and have to sit down and take a break. That's how bad my back was. So I get this machine in my house. I understand the technology of it. I understand the science behind it. But I wonder if it would work for my decrepit body. So I threw away the chart and all the exercises that came with it, and I just started experimenting. And that's where this creativity came in. And so I started to experiment with different things, and it's like, well, that's not really an exercise, but it feels good. That's not an exercise, but that feels good. Oh, this is really good. And that was January. Started probably using it consistently maybe by February. So this is '04. And we used to take a trip to Kentucky every year for a horse show. And the drive used to involve me driving for an hour. And we just make it to the border of where the quarry is here. Driving for an hour, get out of the car, walk around the car, stretch, get back in the car, and do that 4 or 5 times to get to Kentucky, which is only a 5 or 6 hour drive. And so this is like April now, so it's only a couple months into it for me, just experimenting and playing around with stuff. And it's April, and I remember this vividly, where I got out of the car, we're under the carport of the Marriott Hotel, and I get out of the car, and I said, holy crap, we didn't stop. And the response was, stop for what? I said, stop for me. I didn't have to stop for my stretching. And that's when I realized, wow, something's changing neurologically. Something in my body is changing. And so that was in April. So in May of '04, I ordered my first power plate for the office. And when I ordered it, talk about being on the forefront and not knowing you're on the forefront, but just doing what you feel is the right thing to do. I ordered this another power plate, and I get a call from the company, and they said, can we bring a physician to come by and see you? And I said, why do you want to come see me for? And they said, because you have a power plate. So this is how rare. There was none of this in the clinical setting. So here's the company calling me from, they are actually based in Chicago at the time, calling me and said, can we bring a chiropractor to come see your office? I said, sure. So at the time, I was like a 2 or 3 month expert. So I shared everything I knew at that time of what we were working with. And it was, kind of like this needle in a haystack, because what we were finding out is that when you tap into neurology and you understand what's happening, the outcome and the responses that the human body does to the vibration is absolutely phenomenal. I'm going to have another video on actually the science and stuff like that. But anyways, so continuing on with my story. So that was in May. And so we would have one power plate, and I would have 5 or 6 chairs lined up and patients waiting. If you had a shoulder problem, I'd figure out something to do with a shoulder. If you had a low back or a knee or an ankle, whatever it was, we'd just figure out, okay, what are we going to do with this? And so I started coming up with my own protocols. And then it was, so that's '04, and so that started to go very well. And we went from 1 unit in the office, 1 power plate, knocked down the walls. We had a total now of 6. We went from 1 to 6 power plates. And then something incredible happened. It's very humbling, because then people were coming literally from, once word got out, I was teaching people from all around the world, literally, to come to my office to learn about stuff that I figured out for me and for my back. And so here we are, we get to 6 plates and we're doing all this great thing. And now you see on the floor here, we have a combination of different technologies, but almost 20 different plates on the floor. And that map, if I were to put a map up of the globe, we've had people from almost every continent come here South America and Asia and Europe and Canada and all over the States, training, and a guy from Japan for 4 days, and just New Zealand. I mean, just all over. So it's been very humbling, but let me just tell you, is that it started for me to get my life back in order, and it's one of the greatest things that has ever happened to me personally, to my practice, and to the thousands of patients that we've treated. And so I'm just excited to show, as we go through this in a different series, all the different things that we can do with this plate. But I just wanted to kind of share how I got started with PowerPlate. And I'm excited to share the rest of it. So click below, like our videos, and stay tuned for the next one.